There is a quiet room that exists inside of you, a place you can return to at the end of any day, no matter how loud or demanding the world has been. Perhaps you can feel the edges of it now, a gentle hushing of the noise, a softening around the shoulders. It has been waiting for you. It is always waiting. This is the feeling of coming home, not to a place with a roof and walls, but to the deep, silent truth of your own being. It is a journey of only a few inches, from the thinking mind to the feeling heart. But it is the most important journey we can ever take. And it begins simply by giving yourself permission to arrive, right here, right now, without needing to be anything other than what you are. Consider the weight you have been carrying all day long, the conversations, the expectations, the endless lists of things to do, and things you believe you should be. What if, just for this little while, you could set it all down? Imagine it like a heavy coat, one you've worn for so long you've forgotten its weight. You can feel the dense fabric, the pull on your shoulders. And now, you can feel the gentle, unspoken permission to let it slide off. Let it fall to the floor. You do not need it here. In this quiet space, you need no protection. The only requirement for entry is your own breath, the simple, steady rhythm that has been with you since your very first moment. But what if the heaviest part of that coat is a story? A persistent, whispering story that says you are not enough. A story that measures your worth by pages you haven't read, by rooms you haven't been in, by words you don't know? What if the deepest source of your restlessness is the shame of not feeling educated enough? This is a uniquely quiet and heavy burden to carry. Tonight we will not try to fix it or fight it. We will simply get curious about it. We will hold it up to the gentle light and ask a simple question. Is this story actually true? What if the most profound education is not something to be acquired, but something to be remembered? What if the wisdom you seek is not outside of you, waiting to be earned, but is already woven into the very fabric of your life, into your hands, your heart, your scars, and your survival? Ahead of us is not a lecture or a lesson. It is a quiet walk together. We will wander through the unwritten libraries of your own experience. We will visit the silent university of your heart. And we will listen, not for new information, but for the ancient, undeniable knowing that already resides within you. The only thing asked of you is to find a comfortable position. Allow your body to feel heavy, supported by the surface beneath you. Let your eyes close if they wish to. And just listen, not with effort, but with a gentle openness, the way you might listen to the sound of distant rain on a quiet night. Feel the air in the room around you. Notice its temperature, its stillness. Become aware of the space you occupy. Whether you are listening in the deep, velvet dark of late night, with the rest of your world asleep, or in the soft gray hours just before the dawn, when sleep feels far away, you are not alone. You are part of a vast, silent chorus of souls seeking rest, seeking peace, seeking a way to finally lay down the burden of not being enough. This time, right now, is a sanctuary. It is a space held for you, beyond judgment, beyond measurement. Here, there are no tests to pass. There are no credentials required at the door. Your presence is your qualification. Your breath is your credential. This is a homecoming, a gentle return to the wisdom that beats in your own chest. So let the day dissolve. Let the outside world and its demands fade to a distant hum. The questions can wait. The worries can wait. the need to prove yourself can finally be laid to rest. Imagine the threshold of this inner quiet. You are standing right there, and with your next breath, you can step across. Inhale and feel yourself arriving. Exhale and feel yourself letting go. This is the first step, and it is the only one that ever truly matters. It is the quiet invitation to come home to yourself. The world has taught us to measure our intelligence in very specific ways. It honors the straight line, the logical proof, the memorized fact. It celebrates the certificate on the wall, the degree after a name. And because it celebrates these things so loudly, we can begin to believe they are the only things that matter. We can begin to feel a sense of lack, a hollow space inside, if our own path has been different. We look at our own lives, our winding roads, our practical skills, our hard-won emotional lessons, and we mistakenly believe they are of a lesser value. The shame of this feeling can be a constant, low hum of anxiety beneath the surface of our days, and a shouting roar in the silence of the night. It tells you to hide parts of yourself in conversations. It makes you second-guess your own thoughts. It convinces you that your intuition is not a valid form of data. It is a thief, this shame. It steals your peace. It robs you of the joy of your own unique, unrepeatable existence. But tonight, we will offer it no resistance. We will simply notice it, as one might notice a cloud passing in the sky. We are creating a space so gentle, so accepting, that even this difficult feeling can be allowed to exist without overwhelming us. Because underneath that feeling, underneath that story of inadequacy, is something far more real and far more powerful. It is a deep, foundational wisdom, a knowing that does not come from books, but from breathing, a knowledge that was not taught in a classroom, but was earned in the living of your days. This is the truth we are moving toward, not as a destination to be reached, but as a landscape to be rediscovered. It is the landscape of you, and it is more vast, more beautiful, and more intelligent than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. So let your body soften. Let your breath be easy. You have arrived. Welcome home. Let us now, in this shared quiet, gently turn our attention toward that feeling we spoke of. That heavy cloak, that whispering shadow. It has many names, though we rarely speak them aloud. Inadequacy, shame, the quiet, persistent fear of being found out. It is a feeling that thrives in silence and isolation. So tonight, we will simply bring it into this warm, gentle space between us, not to be judged, but simply to be seen. You don't need to force it into the light. Think of it more like allowing a shy creature to emerge from the shadows of the forest. You don't run towards it. You simply sit still, breathe, and let it know this is a safe place. This feeling is a part of your experience, but it is not the entirety of you. It is a cloud, and you are the sky. The sky is not afraid of the clouds. It simply holds them, allowing them to form, to drift, and to eventually dissipate, all within its own vast, unchanging expanse. So for a moment, let us just notice this cloud. Let's observe its shape, its texture, its weight, without any need to push it away. How does it show up for you? Perhaps it appears in the middle of a conversation. Someone uses a word you don't recognize, or references a book you haven't read, and suddenly, there it is. A feeling of shrinking, a desire to become invisible, a hot flush that rises in your face as your own inner voice whispers, "See, you don't belong here." They all know something you don't. You might go quiet, nodding along, hoping no one asks for your opinion, praying the topic will change. The vibrant, curious person you are, just moments before, seems to retreat, pulling back behind a wall of self-protection. Or perhaps it visits you in moments of opportunity. You think of sharing an idea at work, of starting a new project, of speaking your truth in a relationship. But the shadow whispers again, "Who are you to say that? Your idea isn't smart enough. You don't have the right background. You'll make a fool of yourself." And so, the idea goes unspoken. The project never begins. The truth remains hidden. The immense library of your own lived wisdom stays locked away, all because this shadow has convinced you that its volumes are worthless. This feeling is a master of disguise. It masquerades as humility. It pretends to be practicality. It calls itself being realistic. But its true name is fear. And it is a fear born from a story that you were told, a story that you eventually started telling yourself. And where does it get its greatest power? In the quiet moments, just like this one, on the edge of sleep. When the distractions of the day have fallen away, this whispering shadow can feel like the only voice in the universe. It becomes a relentless archivist, pulling up old files from your memory. It replays that time in school you felt embarrassed. It reminds you of the job you didn't get. It shows you, in vivid detail, every single moment where you felt you came up short. It projects a future filled with the same limitations. It is an exhausting, circular argument with a ghost, and you have been fighting it for so long. You have tried to argue with it, to ignore it, to distract yourself from it. But the more you fight a shadow, the more it dances. The more you run from it, the more it chases. So tonight, we will try something radically different. We will not fight. We will not run. We will simply allow. This is the meditative practice for this moment. Can you, just for now, give this feeling permission to be here? You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You are simply dropping the rope in this long, exhausting tug of war. Find the place in your body where this feeling lives. For many of us, it's a tightness in the chest, a hollow pit in the stomach, a heavy weight on the shoulders. Gently bring your awareness to that physical sensation. Don't try to change it. Don't try to relax it away. Just notice it. Acknowledge its presence with a kind of neutral curiosity. Ah, there it is, the feeling. Now, take a slow, gentle breath, and imagine that your breath is not trying to push the feeling out, but is instead creating space around it. Imagine your breath flowing into all the tense places, not with force, but with softness, like water seeping into dry earth. With each inhale, you are saying, without words, it is okay for you to be here for a moment. With each exhale, you are letting go of the struggle, not the feeling itself, but the fight against it. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, releasing the resistance. There is nothing to fix. There is nowhere to get to. There is only this breath, this moment, and this gentle act of allowing. What happens when you stop fighting? You may notice something remarkable. The feeling may not disappear instantly, but its power begins to wane. Its sharp edges begin to soften. By allowing it into the vast open space of your awareness, you realize it is not as big and monstrous as it seemed when it was hiding in the dark. It is just a bundle of energy, a collection of old thoughts and physical sensations. It is a visitor passing through. It is not the house itself. You are the house. You are the awareness that is noticing the feeling. And in that simple act of noticing, you reclaim your power. You are no longer lost in the story. You are the one who is witnessing the story. This is the first step in a quiet metamorphosis. Acknowledging the shadow, not as an enemy to be vanquished, but as a wounded part of you that simply wants to be heard. It has been trying to protect you in its own mistaken way from the pain of judgment and rejection. It built these walls to keep you safe, but they have become a prison. By offering it this moment of gentle, non-judgmental attention, you are letting it know that you are safe now. You are the one in charge, and you can choose a different story. So continue to breathe, softly, gently, allowing this feeling to be what it is, knowing that it is not who you are. The cloud is not the sky. The whisper is not your truth. It has been heard, and now it can begin to rest, and so can you. Now that we have sat with this feeling, this shadow, let us gently get curious about where it came from. It was not born with you. You did not arrive in this world with a sense of inadequacy. No, this was something you learned. It was a story told so often and so loudly by the world around you that you eventually mistook it for your own voice. To understand this, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a vast and varied garden. This garden is teeming with every kind of life imaginable. It stretches as far as the eye can see, under a gentle, forgiving sky. In this garden, there are towering redwood trees, their wisdom measured in centuries. There are delicate, intricate ferns unfurling in the cool, damp shade. There are fields of resilient wildflowers that can bloom even in the poorest soil. There are sturdy, life-giving fruit trees and low-growing, fragrant herbs that heal and soothe. There is tough, patient moss that can soften the hardest stone, and cacti that hold life-giving water in the harshest desert. Every single one is a miracle of design, perfectly adapted to its purpose and its place. Each one possesses its own unique and undeniable form of genius. But in this beautiful, infinitely diverse garden, a strange thing has happened. A long time ago, someone came and placed a single, very tall measuring stick next to one particular kind of flower. Let's say it was a sunflower, beautiful, bright, and always turning its face toward the sun. And a story began to spread throughout the garden. The only thing that matters is height. The only true measure of a plant's worth is how close it can grow to the top of this one specific measuring stick. This is the garden of false measurement. And for a very long time, you have been living there, believing this story to be true. Can you see how this single, arbitrary rule would create a quiet sense of suffering for nearly everyone else in the garden? The magnificent oak tree, with its deep roots providing stability for the entire ecosystem, would look at the stick and feel like a failure because it grows wide, not tall. The soft, green moss, providing a bed for new seeds, would feel shame for its closeness to the earth. The desert cactus, a master of survival and self-sufficiency, would be judged for its thorns and its stoutness, not its incredible resilience. They would all spend their energy looking up at the sunflower, comparing, despairing, and feeling that they are fundamentally flawed. They would forget the miracle of their own roots, their own leaves, their own unique way of being in the world. They would believe the story of the measuring stick. Now, in the safety of your own mind, allow yourself to walk through this garden and find yourself there. What kind of plant are you? Perhaps you are one of those sturdy, quiet trees, providing shelter without ever needing applause. Perhaps you are a complex network of roots, like an aspen grove, connected to others in ways that aren't visible on the surface. Perhaps you are a medicinal herb with a quiet power to soothe and to heal. You don't need to decide with your thinking mind. Just let an image or a feeling arise. See your own form, your own colors. Feel your own unique strength. And now, see that measuring stick in the distance. See how it casts a long shadow over everything. Feel the quiet pressure it has been exerting on you your whole life. The constant, nagging sense that you should be taller, straighter, more like the sunflower. You have been trying so hard to grow in a way that is not your nature. You have been stretching, straining, and feeling ashamed that you cannot become something you were never meant to be. And the exhaustion of this effort is immense. But here is the secret of the garden. The measuring stick is not real. It is an illusion. It is just a story that someone else put there. It has no actual power over you. And in your garden, you have the power to change the story. So I invite you now to do something in your imagination. Walk over to that tall, imposing measuring stick. You don't have to break it in anger. You don't have to fight it. Simply reach out and with a gentle, certain hand, lift it from the ground. Feel its weight in your hands. It might feel surprisingly light. It is only made of old ideas. And now, just lay it down on the soft earth. Let it rest. Let the grass and the moss begin to grow over it. Watch it as it begins to dissolve back into the soil, becoming nourishment for the whole garden. And as it disappears, feel what happens in the garden. Feel what happens in you. There's a collective sigh of relief. The oak tree can finally celebrate the strength of its trunk. The fern can rejoice in the beauty of its intricate fronds. The cactus can stand proud in its magnificent self-sufficiency. And you can finally stop straining. You can settle into the earth that has always held you. You can draw nourishment from your own roots. You can feel the sun on your leaves and know that it is enough. You are enough. The pressure you have felt, the shame that has whispered to you in the dark, it was never about an internal flaw. It was the result of being measured by an external story that was never true. It was a story that did not understand the genius of moss or the wisdom of an ancient tree. It was a story that had no language for your resilience, your kindness, your empathy, your unique way of seeing the world. This pressure is an external story, not an internal truth. Let that sink in. Let it be a balm for the places that have felt bruised by comparison. The shame was a symptom of a sick system of measurement, not a sick soul. Your soul is, and has always been, as whole and as perfect as a wildflower blooming in a field. So rest now in your own beautiful form. Feel the peace of no longer being measured. The only thing the garden asks of you is to be exactly what you are. And that is a task you are already accomplishing perfectly with every single breath you take. Having laid down that external measuring stick, let us now turn our gaze inward, away from the garden of the world and into the quiet landscape of you. For too long, you have been convinced that the halls of your own mind are somehow empty or lacking, that the shelves are bare because they are not filled with the kind of knowledge the world applauds. But tonight, we will undertake a different kind of journey. We will enter this inner world not as a critic, but as a gentle and curious librarian, tasked with discovering the treasures that have been there all along. So, in your imagination, picture a door. It can be any kind of door you like, old and wooden, sleek and modern, or perhaps just an archway of light, This is the entrance to your own inner library. And as you approach, you realize it is unlocked. It has always been unlocked. You need no special key, no secret password. The only thing required for entry is a willingness to see what is truly there. Take a slow breath, and on the exhale, gently push the door open. Step inside, and just for a moment, stand on the threshold and look around. Do not see what you expect to see. Do not look for what you think is missing. Just observe. What is this place like? Perhaps it is not a building at all, but a forest where stories are carved into the bark of ancient trees. Or maybe it is a vast, starlit cavern where memories glitter like crystals in the walls. Or it could be a cozy, warm room filled with shelves from floor to ceiling, the air smelling of old paper and lived experience. Whatever form it takes, know that this space is uniquely, profoundly yours. It is the architecture of your soul. Now, let us begin our gentle exploration. Let your eyes drift along the shelves, or the trees, or the crystal walls. You notice that the books here do not have titles like Advanced Calculus or Literary Theory. They have a different kind of title. Titles that only you could have written. Walk over to a shelf and let your fingers graze the spines. Here is one. Its cover is weathered and soft. The title reads, "The Language of a Child's Hand in Yours." This is not a book of theory. It is a volume thick with lived knowledge. It contains the precise wisdom of knowing how to soothe a fever with a cool cloth. It holds the unspoken understanding of how to listen to a story that is more feeling than words. It is filled with the embodied intelligence of patience, of seeing the world through another's eyes, of creating a space of safety and love. This is a work of genius. There is no university on earth that can teach this. You move to another shelf. You find a heavy, sturdy book, bound in what looks like scarred leather. Its title is Surviving the Unthinkable. This is a difficult book to open, but you do so with reverence. Its pages are not filled with words, but with images and sensations. The gut-wrenching fall, the shocking loss, the long, dark winter of the soul. But as you turn the pages, you see something else. You see the first, tentative breath taken after the tears have stopped. You see the incredible strength it took to get out of bed that one morning. You see the tiny flicker of hope that refused to be extinguished. This book is a masterclass in resilience. It is your PhD in the science of the human spirit. It is a testament to a strength you didn't know you had until it was the only thing you had left. You continue to wander, your sense of wonder growing with every step. Here is a slim volume called The Perfect Cup of Tea, detailing the alchemy of water, heat, and herb that can bring comfort to a troubled mind. Next to it, a much larger work, How to Mend a Broken Thing, filled not just with the knowledge of glue or thread, but with the deeper wisdom of repair, of seeing value in what is fractured, of believing in second chances. You find a whole section dedicated to laughter, books filled with inside jokes, with moments of ridiculous, unexpected joy, with the memory of laughing so hard you cried. This is your personal collection of research on the anatomy of happiness. There are books here that contain your failures, but when you look at them in this gentle light, you see they are not records of shame. They are your most valuable textbooks. Each mistake, each wrong turn, is a chapter in the great book of What I Learned the Hard Way. This is experiential data. This is fieldwork. This is the irreplaceable curriculum of a life fully lived. No one can learn these lessons for you. They are yours alone, and the wisdom they contain is priceless. Think about this vast, unwritten library inside you. It contains every sunrise you have ever witnessed. It holds the exact taste of the best meal you ever ate. It remembers the precise feeling of profound kindness from a stranger. It has cataloged every lesson learned through trial and error, through heartbreak and healing, through observation and quiet contemplation. This library is filled with the knowledge of how to navigate a complex relationship, how to forgive someone who is not sorry, how to find beauty in a crumbling wall, how to listen to the wisdom of your own body. These are not trivial things. This is the deep, essential knowledge of what it means to be human. It is a collection so unique, so specific to your journey, that it is irreplaceable. If this library were to vanish, an entire universe of knowing would be lost forever. The world, with its loud measuring stick, has tried to convince you that this library is insignificant. It has told you that these books don't count. But here, in the quiet truth of your own being, you can start to feel the profound error in that judgment. You are not an empty vessel waiting to be filled. You are a living library. You are the curator of a collection of wisdom that is vast, precious, and utterly your own. So, as you prepare for sleep, imagine yourself in this quiet, sacred space. Find a comfortable chair in a cozy corner of your own library. Let the gentle light fall upon you. Feel the presence of all these volumes that make up your life. There is no test to study for. There is no report to write. The work is already done. The collection is already magnificent. Your only task now is to rest here, surrounded by the undeniable proof of your own deep and abiding wisdom. As we rest here, in the quiet halls of your inner library, let us turn our attention to a very special collection of books. These volumes are not bound in paper or leather. They are not written in ink. These books are your hands. For too long, the world has created a false division between the mind and the body, between thinking and doing. It has elevated the abstract idea above the tangible creation, the theory above the practice. But this is a profound misunderstanding of where wisdom truly lives. The deepest knowledge is often stored not in the neurons of the brain, but in the muscles and nerves of the hands that have learned through repetition, touch, and care. This is the transformation of seeing what the world might call labor as a form of deep embodied scholarship, a PhD in reality. Consider the wisdom of hands that know how to garden. Think of the intricate knowledge held within them. They do not need a textbook to tell them the difference between the texture of healthy soil and soil that is dry and lifeless. They can feel it. There is a genius in the fingertips that know exactly how deep to plant a tiny seed, an unspoken understanding of the delicate pressure required. These hands know the language of plants. They can read the slight droop of a leaf and understand its thirst. They can see the subtle yellowing and diagnose a need for nourishment. This is not rote mechanics. It is a conversation. It is a form of listening, a communion with life that happens through the skin. This wisdom has been learned over seasons, through successes and failures, until it has become an instinct. It is a living, breathing scholarship of nurturing. Now, think of the hands of a cook, a baker, a person who prepares food for others. Imagine the knowledge they hold. They know, without measuring cups, precisely how much flour to add to a dough, just by the feel of its elasticity and its slight tackiness against the palm. This is data being collected in real time. Their hands understand the mysterious alchemy of yeast and warmth. They know the exact moment when onions, sizzling in a pan, transform from sharp and pungent to sweet and caramelized, a knowledge learned through scent and sound and subtle shifts in texture. They can tell if a piece of fruit is ripe by its weight and the slight give of its skin. This is a profound sensory intelligence. To take the raw materials of the earth and transform them into something that brings nourishment, pleasure, and comfort is an act of the highest art and science. It is a daily thesis on the chemistry of love. Let us pay tribute to the hands that can fix things. The hands of a mechanic, a carpenter, a seamstress, or simply the person in the house who knows how to make a broken thing work again. These hands possess a deep understanding of systems. They can hold a broken object and feel, intuitively, where the weakness is. They listen to the wrong sound in an engine, a subtle clatter, or a high-pitched whine, and translate it into a diagnosis. This is the work of a master detective. They understand the logic of how things fit together, the way a screw must be tightened just so, not too loose, not too tight, the way a seam must follow the grain of the fabric, the way the pieces of a puzzle interlock to create a functional whole. This is not just manual skill. It is a profound intelligence of cause and effect, of problem solving in the three-dimensional world. It is the wisdom of restoration. And what of the hands of a caregiver? The hands that know how to soothe a crying baby or steady an elderly parent. There is a universe of knowledge in that touch. The ability to communicate safety, comfort, and unwavering presence through the gentle pressure of a hand on a back. The muscle memory of how to lift someone without causing pain. The intuitive sense of when to hold on tight and when to let go. This is a nonverbal language, perhaps the most important language of all. It is a scholarship of compassion, an embodied understanding of human vulnerability and connection. No book can teach this. It is a knowledge written directly into the heart and expressed through the hands. Your own hands hold their own unique library. Think about them now, as they rest at your sides or on your body. What have they learned? Perhaps they have learned the rhythm of typing on a keyboard, translating fleeting thoughts into solid form. Perhaps they know the precise tension of a guitar string or a piano key needed to create a perfect note. Maybe they have learned the patient, repetitive motions of a craft, knitting, painting, sculpting, where the hands seem to have a mind of their own, guiding the process. Maybe they have learned the simple, sacred acts of washing dishes, folding laundry, or sweeping a floor, creating order and calm from chaos. Do not dismiss this knowledge as mundane. It is the intelligence of daily life. It is the wisdom that keeps the world turning. Every scar, every callus, every line on your hands is a footnote in the story of your scholarship. It speaks of lessons learned, of effort expended, of care given. The world may have taught you to value only the knowledge that can be written down and tested. But the deepest knowing often resists such definition. It lives in the flow of action, in the rhythm of a task well practiced, in the silent communication of touch. So as you lie here, feel a sense of gratitude and reverence for your hands, for all they have done, for all they have learned, for all they have created, mended, and held. They are not just tools. They are organs of perception. They are instruments of care. They are the living, breathing repositories of a wisdom that is practical, profound, and absolutely essential. Let your awareness settle into your hands. Feel the warmth, the tingling, the sensation of life within them. They are books that have written themselves. And you are the scholar who has lived every word. Rest in that knowing. We have honored the wisdom in your hands, the knowledge gained through doing and making. Now let us turn our attention to an even deeper, more sacred curriculum. This is the part of your inner library that is often kept in the darkest, most hidden corner, the section you rarely visit. These are the books bound in pain, the volumes written in the language of scars. Society teaches us to see our hardships as failures. It tells us that mistakes are things to be ashamed of, that periods of darkness are signs of being lost, that our wounds are evidence of our brokenness. But tonight, we will begin a profound transformation of perspective. We are going to reframe these difficult chapters not as evidence of your inadequacy, but as the very curriculum that has forged your deepest wisdom and your most unbreakable strength. This is not about romanticizing pain. It is about honoring, with clear-eyed reverence, the incredible education you have received from the University of Survival. Think of a time you made a significant mistake, a choice that led to consequences you deeply regret. Feel the echo of that moment, the heat of shame or the cold dread of realization. For so long, you have carried this memory like a heavy, sharp stone in your pocket. You pull it out in quiet moments and turn it over and over, reliving the failure, reinforcing the story that you are flawed. But let us look at it differently now. What if that mistake was not an endpoint, but a beginning? What if it was a masterclass in a subject you desperately needed to learn? Perhaps it taught you the true meaning of humility. Perhaps it was a brutal but effective lesson in the importance of honesty or the necessity of boundaries. Maybe that single painful event taught you more about empathy for others who stumble than 1,000 lectures on compassion ever could. The knowledge you gained from that experience is now a part of you. It informs your choices. It deepens your understanding of human nature. It has made you more cautious, perhaps, but also more wise. The scar left by that mistake is not a mark of shame. It is a diploma. It is the seal on your certificate in the study of consequences and grace. Can you, just for a moment, feel a sliver of gratitude not for the pain of the mistake, but for the profound, unshakable wisdom it carved into your soul? You would not be the person you are today without it. You paid a high price for that lesson, so do not dishonor your own journey by pretending it taught you nothing. It taught you everything. Now, let us consider the scars of the heart, the betrayals, the losses, the abandonments, the times when your world cracked open and your heart was shattered into 1,000 pieces. These are the most feared experiences in human life, and we are taught to see them as periods of pure destruction. But look closer. In the sacred library of your life, the story of that heartbreak is one of your most profound texts. It is a first-hand account of the depths of human connection and the agony of its severance. But it is also a record of what happened next. It is the story of how a heart, even when broken, continues to beat. It is the chronicle of your own astonishing capacity to heal. Every tear you cried was a cleansing. Every friend who sat with you in silence was a lesson in true companionship. Every morning you forced yourself to face the day was a practical exam in courage. Through that experience, you learned the difference between superficial attachment and deep, abiding love. You learned what you are truly made of. You discovered a strength within you that you never knew existed, a reservoir of resilience that is now and forever will be a part of your character. The scar on your heart is not a sign of damage. It is a beautiful, intricate pattern, like the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold. The cracks are what make it more beautiful, more valuable, and more unique. They are the beautiful text of your strength and your capacity to love again, not in spite of what you endured, but because of it. And what of the unseen scars? The wounds from a childhood where you were not seen or understood. The long, grinding struggle with anxiety or depression. The quiet battles fought within the privacy of your own mind. These are your studies in the complex, often treacherous terrain of the inner world. To have navigated that darkness, to have found your way through the fog, to simply still be here, breathing, is an achievement of epic proportions. It has made you an expert in the subtleties of the human psyche. It has given you a level of empathy for the suffering of others that is a rare and precious gift. You can see the pain behind another person's eyes because you recognize the landscape. You know the language of sorrow, which allows you to offer a comfort that is real and true, not just a collection of empty platitudes. Your survival is your thesis. The fact that you are lying here, listening to these words, means that you have successfully graduated time and time again from courses that would have broken many others. Stop seeing your past hardships as a list of things that are wrong with you. They are your qualifications. They are the curriculum that has made you compassionate, resilient, intuitive, and wise in ways that no formal education could ever touch. So, as you drift towards sleep, I invite you to perform a quiet alchemy in your heart. Bring to mind the person you are today, the one who is listening to this, and offer a silent, profound thank you to the person you were who endured all those difficult lessons. Thank them for not giving up. Thank them for crying the tears, for feeling the pain, for making the mistakes. Thank them for walking through the fire, because they did it so that you, the person you are now, could be here in this moment, on the verge of a peaceful rest. You have become who you are because of what you have endured. And who you are is a masterpiece of survival, a living library of strength. There is no shame in that. There is only honor. We have walked through the library of your experiences, honoring the wisdom gained through your hands and the strength forged in your scars. Now, let us enter the most sacred chamber of all. This is the heart of the library, the central rotunda from which all other knowledge gains its meaning. We will call this place the University of the Heart. There are no stone walls here, no lecture halls. Its curriculum is not written in books, but in the invisible, powerful currents of human connection. The degrees it confers are empathy, kindness, and love. And in this university, you are not just a student, you are a tenured professor. This is a realm of intelligence that society often overlooks, and yet it is the only wisdom that can truly heal us, and the only knowledge that ultimately matters. It is the truth that connects you to the whole of humanity, a truth far deeper and more resonant than any academic fact. The primary course of study in this university is the art of listening. Not just hearing words, but listening to the spaces between them. Listening to the subtle shift in a person's tone of voice and understanding the fear or hope hidden there. Listening to the story that a person's eyes are telling even when their mouth is smiling. This is an advanced form of perception. It requires you to quiet your own inner monologue, to set aside your own agenda, and to create a space of pure, receptive presence for another human being. Think of the times you have done this. A friend comes to you with a problem. The world's definition of smart would be to immediately offer solutions, to fix it, to provide a 5-point plan. But the genius of the heart knows better. It knows that the greatest gift you can offer is not an answer, but a sanctuary, a moment of undivided attention, a quiet presence that says, without words, I am here with you in this. You are not alone. To make another person feel truly seen and heard is an act of profound intellectual and emotional grace. It is a skill more valuable than any debate tactic or rhetorical flourish. Another core subject in the University of the Heart is the science of empathy. This is the ability to imaginatively step into another person's experience, to feel a resonance with their joy or their sorrow. This is not a simple or easy thing. It requires courage. It means being willing to let go of your own perspective for a moment and allow their reality to touch you. Think of a time you saw someone struggling, perhaps even a stranger, and you felt a genuine pang in your own chest. That is empathy. It is the invisible thread that connects your nervous system to theirs. It is the biological and spiritual recognition that we are not separate islands. What happens to you, in some small way, happens to me. This intelligence is the antidote to judgment. It is impossible to feel true empathy for someone and judge them at the same time. This emotional resonance is what allows for forgiveness, for reconciliation, for the mending of the social fabric. It is a form of genius that can solve conflicts that logic alone cannot touch. And then there's the postgraduate work, the practice of love. Not just the easy, romantic love celebrated in songs, but the difficult, durable, everyday love. The love that shows up. The love that chooses kindness when it would be easier to be right. The love that holds a boundary with compassion. The love that forgives, not because the other person deserves it, but because your own heart deserves peace. This is the highest degree offered by the University of the Heart. Your ability to love, to care for another being, be it a child, a partner, a parent, a friend, or even an animal, is the ultimate expression of your wisdom. It is the culmination of all your other learning. It takes resilience, patience, empathy, and deep listening. It is a living, breathing practice, a constant process of learning and adapting. You have been studying at this university your entire life. Every time you chose to comfort someone instead of turning away, you were completing a practical exam. Every time you offered forgiveness, you were writing your thesis. Every time you listened with your full being, you were attending a masterclass. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, a smile to a stranger, a helping hand, a patient word, was you publishing your research in the most prestigious journal of all, the shared human experience. The world, with its measuring sticks, has no way to quantify this. It cannot be graded on a curve or listed on a resume. But you know its value. You have felt its power, both in the giving and the receiving. This is the intelligence that creates families. It builds communities. It is the foundation of everything that makes life worth living. So do not for a moment believe you are uneducated. You hold a doctorate in compassion. You are a leading researcher in the field of forgiveness. You are a celebrated scholar of love. These are not metaphors. They are the truth. This wisdom does not separate you from others with complex terminology or exclusive theories. It does the opposite. It connects you. It is the universal language. Your expertise in the affairs of the human heart allows you to connect with any person, from any culture, from any walk of life, because these are the truths that are common to us all. We all know fear. We all know joy. We all yearn to be loved and understood. Your fluency in this language makes you a citizen of the world in the truest sense. As you rest here, feel the gentle, steady beat of your own heart. It is the quiet drum that has kept the rhythm of your life. It is the seat of this profound, connective wisdom. Let go of the need to prove your intelligence with your mind. Rest in the supreme, undeniable intelligence of your heart. It is wise enough. It is vast enough. It is more than enough. It is your highest degree, and you have already earned it, beautifully and completely. Having rested in the great university of your heart, let us now tune into an even quieter, more subtle form of knowing. This is a wisdom that does not announce itself with grand theories or dramatic emotions. It speaks in whispers. It communicates through feelings, through sensations, through a simple, unshakable sense of yes or no that rises from a place deeper than thought. This is the powerful, ancient intelligence of your intuition. For too long, you may have been taught to dismiss this inner knowing. The logical world calls it woo-woo, unscientific, or just a feeling. It demands hard data, external proof, and logical arguments. But in doing so, it ignores one of the most sophisticated and reliable guidance systems you possess. Tonight, we will honor this intuition not as a random feeling, but as your own personal inner almanac. A book of wisdom written by the seasons of your own life, constantly and quietly guiding you towards safety, truth, and well-being. Think of an old farmer's almanac. It's a book filled with a very specific kind of knowledge. It doesn't explain the complex meteorological science behind the weather. Instead, it offers a distilled wisdom based on generations of direct observation. It says, "When the leaves on the maple tree curl, expect rain." It knows that a certain kind of sky at sunset predicts a fair day tomorrow. This is not superstition. It is a deep pattern recognition, a knowledge born from paying close attention to the subtle signals of the natural world over a very long time. Your intuition works in exactly the same way. Your body and your subconscious mind have been meticulously observing and recording every single moment of your life. Every conversation, every environment, every person you've ever met, it's all been logged. Your intuition is the master librarian of this vast, non-verbal database. When you get a gut feeling about a person or a situation, it is not a random guess. It is your inner almanac speaking. Your subconscious has scanned the current situation and cross-referenced it with millions of past experiences in a fraction of a second. It has detected subtle patterns that your conscious mind is too slow to notice. A slight dissonance between a person's words and their body language. A familiar energy in a room that reminds you of a past negative experience. A tiny, almost imperceptible signal of danger or of safety. The resulting gut feeling, that clenching in your stomach, that sense of ease, that feeling of a red flag or a green light, is the executive summary of this incredibly complex data analysis. It is your own personal weather report, telling you to expect a storm or to enjoy the sunshine. How many times have you ignored this gentle guidance, only to regret it later? You took the job, even though something felt off in the interview. You entered the relationship despite a quiet, nagging voice in the back of your mind. You said yes when your whole body was screaming no. You did this because you were taught to trust the logical reasons, the good salary, the charming words, the fear of offending someone. You were taught to override your own internal almanac. But what if you started to see that inner compass not as an enemy of logic, but as a different, equally valid form of intelligence? Logic can analyze the known facts. Intuition can perceive the unknown truths. A truly wise person learns to use both. Let's practice listening to this subtle wisdom right now, in the quiet safety of your own body as it relaxes. Bring your awareness to your breath, and then let it gently expand to include the sensations throughout your body. Think of a simple, neutral statement, like, "The sky is blue." Notice how your body feels. There is likely no reaction, just a calm neutrality. Now, gently bring to mind something that you know in your heart is a clear and certain yes for you. It could be the thought of a person you love, a place you feel safe, or a simple pleasure you enjoy. Don't force it. Just let the thought be there. And notice what happens in your body. Is there a subtle sense of opening? A warmth in your chest? A feeling of relaxation or expansion? This is the physical language of your yes. It is your body's way of saying, "This is true for me. This is aligned." Now, just as gently, let that thought go and bring to mind something that you know is a definite no for you. A food you dislike, a situation that makes you uncomfortable, a memory of a time you felt unsafe. Again, just hold the thought lightly and listen to your body's response. Do you feel a slight tightening? A coolness in your stomach? A subtle urge to pull back or shrink? This is the physical language of your no. It is your body's alarm system, its gentle but firm way of saying, "This is not right for me. Move with caution." This is not a judgment. It is information, and it is incredibly reliable. You don't need to be taught this language. You were born with it. You only need to remember to listen. This inner almanac is always with you. It is the quiet knowing that helps you choose the right street to walk down at night. It is the subtle feeling that tells you who you can trust with your stories. It is the inner sense of timing that knows when to speak and when to stay silent. The more you honor it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you listen to that gut feeling and act on it, even in a small way, you are strengthening the neural pathways of your intuitive intelligence. You are telling your inner guidance system, "I hear you. I trust you. Thank you." You do not need a degree to have access to this wisdom. In fact, sometimes, too much formal education can teach us to silence this very faculty. This knowing is your birthright. It is the ancient animal wisdom of the body, combined with the unique experiential data of your own life. It is the Earth's intelligence speaking through you. As you drift deeper into relaxation, give yourself permission to trust this quiet voice within. It does not shout. It does not argue. It simply knows. Let it be your guide, not just in big decisions, but in the small, moment-to-moment choices of your life. Let it guide you now into the gentle, trusting state of sleep. Your body knows the way. Your intuition will lead you home. We have journeyed far tonight through the libraries of your hands, your scars, your heart, and your intuition. We have gathered the evidence of your deep and multifaceted wisdom. And now, we arrive at a moment of gentle release. a moment to let go of the very thing that has been causing this pressure, this shame. It is time to let go of the symbol that has held so much power over your sense of self-worth. In the quiet theater of your mind, I want you to imagine that you are holding something in your hands. It is a crown, but it is not made of gold or jewels. It is a simple, flimsy crown made of paper. On this paper crown are written all the words of external validation that you have been taught to chase. Words like degree, certificate, PhD, expert, published, approved. See them written in a formal, important-looking script. Feel the texture of the paper. It is thin, fragile, and surprisingly light. For so long, you have believed that this paper crown is the ultimate prize. You have believed that if you could just earn it, wear it, and show it to the world, then you would finally feel worthy. You would finally be safe from judgment. You would finally have permission to feel intelligent, to feel like you belong. You have spent so much energy striving for it, or feeling deep shame for not having it. This paper crown has become the symbol of your perceived lack, the constant reminder of the measuring stick from the garden. It has been a heavy weight, not because of its physical substance, but because of the immense power you have given it. It has dictated how you feel about yourself in the quiet of the night. It has silenced your voice and dimmed your inner light. Look at it now, resting in your open palms. See it for what it truly is. It is not a source of wisdom. It is a receipt. It is a piece of paper that says you sat in certain rooms and read certain books and passed certain tests. This is not a bad thing, but it is a profoundly incomplete story of who you are and what you know. This paper crown has no language for the wisdom in your hands. It has no words for the strength forged in your scars. It has no way to measure the vastness of your heart's intelligence or the quiet accuracy of your intuition. It is a one-dimensional symbol in a multi-dimensional world. And you, my friend, are a multi-dimensional being. To define your entire worth by this fragile object is like trying to describe the ocean by showing someone a single drop of water in a jar. It is not just inaccurate, it is a profound injustice to the vast, living, breathing miracle that is you. Now, let's begin the ceremony of release. This is not an act of anger or rebellion. It is an act of gentle, loving liberation. With the paper crown resting in your hands, take a slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to simply open your hands and let it go. Just let it fall. Watch it as it begins to drift away from you. There are a few ways this might happen in your imagination. Perhaps a gentle breeze picks it up and carries it away, tumbling over and over, growing smaller and smaller until it disappears into the blue sky. It feels effortless, a simple surrender to the wind. Or maybe, as you release it, it floats down onto the surface of a calm, clear body of water. Watch as the water begins to soften the paper. The sharp edges blur. The important-looking ink begins to run, the letters dissolving into soft gray clouds in the water. The crown loses its shape, its form, its structure. It is slowly, gently, peacefully, unmade, becoming one with the water, returning to its elemental nature. There is no violence in this, only a quiet, inevitable transformation. It is simply becoming something else now. Another possibility, as you let it go, it is caught by a single, warm ray of sunlight. And in that light, it simply dissolves. Like a phantom, like a dream upon waking. It turns into motes of dust, glittering for a moment in the sunbeam before vanishing completely. It was never as solid as you thought it was, Its power was made of belief, and as you withdraw your belief, it ceases to exist. Choose whichever image feels most peaceful, most right for you, and just watch. Stay with the process until the paper crown is completely gone from your sight. There is no rush. And now, notice the feeling in your hands. They are empty. But does it feel like a lack? Or does it feel like lightness? Notice the feeling in your shoulders. Do they feel less burdened? Notice the space around your head. It is no longer constricted by that fragile paper band. There is a sense of openness, of freedom. You can feel the air. You can feel the space. This is the feeling of your own inherent worth, no longer dependent on an external symbol. Your worth is not in something you can earn or lose. It is in the simple, irrefutable fact of your existence. It is in your breath. It is in your being. In this moment of release, you are not saying that formal education is worthless. You are simply putting it in its proper place. It is one kind of knowledge, one tool, one path among millions. And it is no longer the king. It is no longer the sole arbiter of your value. You have abdicated the throne of external validation and have claimed the quiet, steady sovereignty of your own soul. You are the one who determines your worth, and the measure of that worth is simply your own capacity to live, to learn, to love, and to grow in whatever form that takes. Let this feeling of lightness spread through your entire body. Feel the freedom that comes when you are no longer trying to impress a faceless judge. The only person you ever needed permission from was yourself. And tonight, you have given it. You are free. Rest in this freedom. Let it be the gentle cradle that rocks you into a deep and peaceful sleep. You need no crown when you are the entire kingdom. Now that you have felt the lightness of releasing that paper crown, let us allow a new image, a new metaphor for your wisdom to take its place. This is a central truth, a shift in understanding that can change everything. For so long, the story you have been told is that you are an empty vessel, a jar, a cup, a container. The story says that your value comes from what you can be filled with from the outside. You must go to the fountains of knowledge, the schools, the books, the experts, and you must collect their wisdom and pour it into yourself. In this model, you begin as empty, and your life is a struggle to become full. It is a model based on lack, on striving, on the constant nagging feeling that you are not yet complete, that you need more. This metaphor of the empty vessel is the very root of the shame we have been exploring. It is a story that has caused so much suffering. But tonight, we are going to gently set that metaphor aside. We are going to replace it with one that is far more true, far more powerful, and far more aligned with the rhythms of nature. Here is the new truth. You are not a vessel. You are a river. Let that image settle into your body and your mind. You are a river. Think about the nature of a river. A river is not an empty thing waiting to be filled. A river is a force. It is a process. It is a journey. Its wisdom does not come from what is poured into it. Its wisdom comes from its journey, from its movement, from the path it carves simply by being itself. A river is born from a high, quiet source, a spring, a melting glacier. It begins small, perhaps just a trickle, but it does not worry about its smallness. It simply begins to flow. It follows the path of least resistance, the natural pull of gravity. It is guided by an innate, unerring intelligence. As the river flows, it gathers strength. Other streams and trickles join it, adding to its volume. but the river's essence is its own. It encounters obstacles. It meets a great stone, a hard place in the earth. Does the river feel shame that it cannot go through it? No. It does not fight the stone. It does not judge itself as weak. It simply, patiently finds a way around. It flows to the left or to the right. Or, over centuries, it gently, persistently wears the stone away, smoothing its rough edges, transforming the obstacle into a beautiful, polished part of the landscape. This is the river's wisdom. It is adaptable, it is persistent, it is patient. It understands that there is more than one way to reach the sea. The river carves landscapes. Through its steady, constant flow, it creates canyons of breathtaking beauty. It was not trying to create a canyon. It was simply flowing. The grand creation was a byproduct of its own authentic movement. This is like your life, the wisdom you have, the character you have built, the impact you have on the people around you. These are the canyons you have carved, not by trying to be impressive, but simply by living your life, by flowing through your own unique experiences. The river nourishes life. All along its banks, there is greenness, there is abundance. Trees sink their roots deep to drink from it. Animals come to its edge for life-giving water. The river does not decide who is worthy of its water. It does not measure or withhold. It simply flows, and in its flowing, it gives life unconditionally. This is the nature of your wisdom, your kindness, your empathy, your skills. They nourish the world around you, often in ways you will never even see. You don't have to try to be nourishing. You just have to be you, flowing. This is a profound shift in perspective. If you are a vessel, your worth is static. It is measured by how full you are at any given moment. But if you are a river, your worth is in your flow. It is in the continuous process of becoming. A river is never finished. It is always in motion, always learning, always adapting, always deepening its channel. There is no final exam for a river. Its entire existence is the test, and the answer is always the same. Keep flowing. The shame of not knowing enough can only exist in the vessel metaphor. A river cannot not know enough. It knows everything it needs to know for the part of the journey it is on right now. It has the wisdom of the mountain spring when it is at the mountain, and it will gain the wisdom of the open plains when it reaches them. It trusts that it will know what to do when it meets the sea. Feel this flowing, adaptable intelligence within your own body right now. Bring your awareness to your breath. Your breath is your own inner river. It flows in, it flows out. It does not need to be taught. It is a constant, steady, life-giving current. With every inhale, feel the nourishment entering your body, like the river receiving water from its source. With every exhale, feel a letting go, a release, a continuation of the journey. Inhale, receiving. Exhale, flowing. You are not a static object. You are a living, breathing, flowing process. The pressure to be educated enough comes from the belief that you must arrive at a destination called full. But the river teaches us that the journey is the destination. The wisdom is in the movement. All of your experiences, the smooth, easy passages and the turbulent, rocky rapids, are part of the river's journey. They are all sources of its power and its beauty. There are no wrong turns for a river, only different paths to the great, unifying ocean. So release the exhausting burden of trying to be a perfect, full vessel. It was never who you were. Embrace the wild, beautiful, ever-changing nature of the river that you are. Trust your own current. Follow the natural pull of your own soul's gravity. You know the way. You are the way. And your flowing is your wisdom. As you rest in this beautiful, flowing image of yourself as a river, let us gently widen our lens. Let us look beyond ourselves and witness the profound, uncredentialed genius that is alive everywhere in the natural world. For a moment, step out of the human-centric world of ideas and institutions and become a quiet observer of the Earth's intelligence. This is a wisdom that operates without shame, without striving, without any need for external validation. It is the deep, innate knowing that you are also a part of, woven from the very same threads of life. By connecting with this vast, ancient intelligence, you can feel the truth that your own wisdom is just as natural, just as valid, and just as inherent. There are no entrance exams to the school of the earth. Your birth was your enrollment. Consider the silent, unshakable intelligence of a tree. Think of a great oak or a towering pine. It stands in quiet dignity, its life a masterclass in patience and adaptation. The tree knows, in its very fibers, when to pull its energy inward for the winter. No one sends it a memo. There is no academic calendar to consult. It feels the subtle shift in the angle of the sunlight, the slow cooling of the air, and an ancient cellular command is given. It is time to let go. And so, it releases its leaves, not with a sense of loss or failure, but as a necessary and beautiful act of surrender, conserving its energy for the cold months ahead. This is a profound lesson in timing and resource management. Then in the spring, the same deep intelligence senses the returning warmth, the lengthening days. It knows it is time to awaken. It pushes life-giving sap up through its trunk and branches, unfurling new leaves to greet the sun. This tree is a PhD in cyclical living. It has never read a book on botany, and yet its understanding of its own nature is perfect and complete. Now, think of the unthinking, unstoppable genius of a single seed. Imagine holding a tiny, hard, seemingly lifeless seed in the palm of your hand. Within that small casing is a complete blueprint for a future life. It holds the encoded memory of what it is to become a flower, a vegetable, a mighty tree. It contains all the instructions for how to break through its own shell, how to send a root down into the darkness in search of water, and how to push a shoot up toward an unseen light. This seed does not suffer from self-doubt. It does not worry that it is not educated enough to sprout. It simply waits. It is a master of patience, waiting for the precise conditions of warmth and moisture. And when those conditions are met, it does not hesitate. It begins its transformation. It surrenders completely to the powerful, intelligent impulse for life that is its essence. To trust so completely in the unseen, to hold such a perfect map of one's own potential within, this is a form of genius so profound it borders on the miraculous. Let us observe the wisdom of the tides. Twice a day, the great oceans of the world are drawn toward the moon in a slow, powerful, rhythmic breath. The water level rises, and it falls. The tide does not need to be reminded. It does not need to be taught the laws of gravity. It is in a constant, silent, perfect dialogue with a celestial body millions of miles away. This is a lesson in responsiveness, in being part of a system far greater than oneself. The creatures that live in the tidal zones, the crabs, the mussels, the anemones, all have their lives perfectly attuned to this rhythm. Their own internal clocks are set to the great clock of the cosmos. This is an intelligence of interconnectedness, of belonging. They have never studied astrophysics, yet their bodies hold a perfect, working knowledge of the dance between the Earth and the Moon. Think, too, of the navigational brilliance of a migrating bird. A tiny Arctic tern, weighing only a few ounces, embarks on a journey of thousands of miles, from the North Pole to the South and back again. It navigates using the Earth's magnetic field, the position of the sun and stars, and perhaps senses we humans have long since forgotten. It has an internal map, an innate compass of breathtaking accuracy. It did not go to flight school. It was not given a GPS. The knowledge is simply there, a part of its being, passed down through countless generations. This is the wisdom of instinct, of trusting an inner direction that is older and more reliable than any man-made map. All of this intelligence, in the tree, the seed, the tides, the bird, operates without a single credential. Nature does not issue diplomas. Its genius is self-evident. It is demonstrated, not declared. And you are not separate from this. You are a part of this great, intelligent tapestry. The same life force that knows how to unfurl a leaf and how to guide a bird across an ocean is the life force that is breathing you right now. The same intelligence that tells the seed when to sprout is the intelligence that is healing a cut on your finger while you sleep. The same rhythmic wisdom that governs the tides is present in the steady, cyclical beat of your own heart. For too long, you have been taught to identify only with your thinking mind. That small, chatty part of you that collects facts and worries about what it doesn't know. But your true intelligence is so much vaster than that. It is the intelligence of your whole body, your whole being. It is the wisdom of your cells, your heart, your gut. It is the Earth's uncredentialed genius, expressing itself for a little while as you. So feel your connection to this. Feel yourself as a part of this vast, interconnected web of knowing. Let the quiet dignity of the tree, the patient potential of the seed, and the unerring instinct of the bird remind you of the deep, natural wisdom you already possess. You do not need to earn it. You only need to remember it. You only need to quiet yourself enough to feel it. It is here. It has always been here. We have journeyed through the vast landscapes of your inner and outer worlds, recognizing a wisdom that is deeper and more authentic than any piece of paper. Now it is time to bring this knowing home, to anchor it not as a beautiful idea, but as a felt reality in every single cell of your body. We will do this with the simplest and most powerful tool we possess, the breath. The breath is the bridge between the mind and the body, the conscious and the subconscious. It is the gentle current that can carry this new story of sufficiency into the deepest parts of your being. So, as you lie here, comfortable and still, let us begin a simple, powerful breathing practice to truly embody this transformation. There is nothing to force, nothing to strive for, just a gentle invitation to breathe and to receive. First, simply bring your awareness to the natural rhythm of your breathing. Don't try to change it. Just notice it. Feel the air entering your nostrils, cool and fresh. Follow its path down into your lungs. Feel the gentle expansion of your chest and your belly as they rise to meet the breath. Then, notice the pause, that quiet moment of stillness at the top of the inhale. And then, the release. The gentle letting go as you exhale, feeling the air, now slightly warmer, leave your body. Feel the slight contraction of your belly and chest. Stay with this for a few cycles, just observing. This breath has been with you your entire life, a faithful, steady companion. It has never asked for a credential. It has never judged you. It is a perfect expression of the Earth's uncredentialed genius happening right here, inside of you. Now, we will add a quiet intention to the breath. We will turn it into a moving meditation, a way of physically rewriting the old story of not enough. With your next inhalation, I invite you to silently, in your own mind, say the words, "I am wise enough." Don't just think the words, try to feel them. As you breathe in, imagine you are inhaling the very quality of sufficiency. Imagine this feeling of innate wisdom as a beautiful, warm, golden light. See this light entering your body with the breath, filling your lungs, and then spreading out from your heart, flowing through your arteries and veins, reaching every part of you. Inhale and feel the truth. I am wise enough. Feel it nourishing your brain, soothing your nervous system, relaxing the muscles in your face and shoulders. Breathe this truth into the very marrow of your bones. Then, as you exhale, you will let go of the old story. Silently, in your mind, as you breathe out, say the words, letting go of not enough. Imagine that with the out-breath, you are releasing all the tension, all the anxiety, all the shame associated with that old belief. See it as a gray, heavy smoke leaving your body. Watch it as it dissolves into the air around you, harmlessly dissipating. With each exhale, you are physically releasing the cellular memory of that old struggle. You are giving your body permission to let go of the habit of feeling inadequate. Let the exhale be a long, slow, gentle sigh of release. Let it be a complete surrender of the old burden. Let's continue this gentle rhythm together in the quiet of your own being. Inhaling the golden light of truth. I am wise enough. Feeling it expand, fill, and soothe every part of you. Pausing for a moment in that fullness. Then exhaling the gray smoke of the old story, letting go of not enough. Feeling the release, the lightening, the creation of space. Let's stay with this for a little while. Inhale, I am wise enough. Exhale, letting go of not enough. There is no need to rush. The breath is slow, deep, and calm. If your mind wanders, as it naturally will, just gently guide it back to the feeling of the breath and the simple, healing words. This is not a test. It is an act of kindness to yourself. As you continue this practice, you may begin to notice a shift in your physical body. You might feel a pleasant heaviness, a sense of sinking deeper into the surface that supports you. This is the feeling of your nervous system down-regulating, moving from a state of anxious fight or flight into a state of peaceful rest and digest. The old story of not enough is a state of constant low-grade stress. It keeps your muscles subtly tensed, your breathing shallow, your mind on high alert for threats of judgment. By breathing in your own sufficiency, you are sending a powerful signal to your body that it is safe to relax. You are safe. You are whole. You are enough. Right here, right now. Breathe this knowing into the places that have held the most tension. Breathe I am wise enough into your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Breathe letting go of not enough from that tight spot in your chest or that knot in your stomach. Allow each breath to be a wave of healing, washing over you. The inhale, a gentle rising tide of acceptance. The exhale, a soft, receding tide carrying away all that you no longer need to hold. You are cleansing yourself from the inside out, not with force, but with the gentle, persistent power of your own breath and intention. You're not trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. You are aligning yourself with a truth that has always been there, buried under layers of false conditioning. The wisdom is already in you. The breath is simply the key that unlocks it, allowing you to feel it, to embody it, to know it not just as an idea, but as your most fundamental reality. So continue to rest in this simple, profound rhythm. Inhale your own sufficiency. Exhale the old story. Let each breath deepen the feeling of peace. Let it deepen the feeling of self-acceptance. Let it guide you gently, peacefully, toward the edge of a deep and restorative sleep, where this new truth can settle and take root in the quiet garden of your subconscious mind. As the rhythm of your breath deepens and your body settles into a profound state of rest, let us gently reframe the entire story of your life. In the waking world, we are often caught in a state of perpetual striving. We see our lives as an unfinished project, a series of tasks to be completed, a mountain to be climbed. There is always another goal to reach, another milestone to achieve, another flaw to be fixed. This mindset, while useful for getting things done, can be a source of endless anxiety, especially as we lie down to sleep. The mind races, reviewing the day's incomplete tasks and planning for the next day's challenges. It feels like you are a student, the night before a huge exam, cramming to prepare, worried you haven't studied enough. But tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, we will release this burden. We will gently close the book on the idea of life as a test. I invite you to consider this. Your life is not an exam to be passed. It is a masterpiece that has already been created. It is not a rough draft waiting for an editor's red pen. It is the finished, final, published work. Your story, with all its beautiful and unique chapters, is your thesis. And your very existence, the fact that you are here, now, breathing, is all the evidence required to prove its profound and irrefutable value. There is no defense to be made. There is no panel of judges to impress. The work is done, and it is magnificent. Think of it this way. Imagine your life as a single, immense, beautiful tapestry. It has been woven over years, with every thread representing a day, an experience, a choice, a feeling. When you stand too close to it, as we do in our daily lives, all you can see are the individual threads. You might notice a knotted thread from a difficult day, or a place where the color seems dull from a period of sadness. You might see a section where the pattern seems chaotic and messy, from a time of confusion. From this close-up perspective, it is easy to focus on the perceived imperfections. The shame of not being educated enough is like obsessing over one single thread, believing its texture or color makes the entire tapestry worthless. But now, in the quiet space before sleep, I want you to imagine that you can float back, away from the tapestry. Gently, you drift up and back until you can see the whole thing at once. From this perspective, everything changes. You are no longer focused on the individual threads. Instead, you can see the grand, intricate, and utterly unique pattern that your life has woven. You see that the dark, knotted threads you were so ashamed of are not mistakes at all. They are essential. They provide the contrast that makes the bright, joyful threads of gold and silver shine even more brilliantly. You see that the chaotic, messy sections are not errors. but moments of incredible energy and transformation, leading to new and unexpected patterns you could never have planned. You see how every single color, every texture, every twist and turn of the thread was necessary to create the breathtaking whole. From this vantage point, you can see the whole story. You see the chapter of your childhood, woven in the colors of innocence and learning. You see the chapters of love and heartbreak, creating intricate patterns of connection and resilience. You see the quiet, steady sections woven with the simple threads of daily routine, providing a foundation for the whole work. You see the vibrant, explosive parts that represent your greatest joys and achievements. Nothing is out of place. Nothing is missing. It is a complete and perfect expression of a life. Your life. This masterpiece is your thesis on what it means to be human. It is your unique contribution to the great library of existence. No one else could have woven this exact pattern. It is a one-of-a-kind work of art. And the best part is, you don't have to do anything more to validate it. Its existence is its validation. You have already done the work. You have lived the life. You have felt the feelings. You have learned the lessons. The research is complete. The paper is written. The book is bound. So, as you prepare to let go into sleep, I want you to give yourself permission to rest in this accomplishment. Imagine yourself as a scholar at the end of a long and fruitful career. You have submitted your great work. There is nothing left to prove. You can now sit back in your comfortable chair, put your feet up, and rest. You can let the mind, which has been working so hard for so long, finally go off duty. You can say to it, with gentle kindness, "Thank you for all your work. The project is complete for today. You can rest now." Feel the deep, soul-level permission in that statement. You are not procrastinating. You are not being lazy. You are honoring the completion of the day's weaving. You are allowing yourself the sacred, necessary rest that comes after a job well done. The world will still be there tomorrow, with its lists and its demands. But for tonight, you can release it all. You are stepping out of the role of the striving student and into the role of the revered master, looking with quiet satisfaction upon your life's work. Let this feeling of completion, of wholeness, be the soft pillow on which you lay your head. There is no final exam. There is only the beautiful finished tapestry of you. And as you drift toward sleep, you are simply turning the page to a quiet, restful, and well-deserved blank chapter. You have done enough. You are enough. Now, it is time to rest. The great tapestry of your life hangs complete in the halls of your mind. The scholar has submitted their work and found peace. And now, the journey turns fully inward, away from stories and metaphors, and into the simple, direct, physical sensations of this present moment. The focus now shifts entirely to the gentle unfolding into rest. Our language will become simpler, slower. The pauses will grow a little longer. This is a time for feeling, not for thinking. Your mind has done its work for the day. It has walked through the gardens, explored the libraries, and released the old burdens. It can now dissolve its efforts, like a loyal guard being told its watch is over. All that is left is to surrender to the sweet, heavy pull of drowsiness, to let go and allow your body to lead the way into the quiet mystery of sleep. Begin by bringing your awareness to the simple fact of your physical body. Feel its weight. Feel the gentle but firm support of the surface beneath you, the mattress, the pillows. Feel how it holds you completely. You do not need to hold yourself up. You can release every muscle, knowing that you are fully and completely supported. Let go of the tension in your jaw. Let your tongue rest softly in your mouth. Allow the tiny muscles around your eyes to smooth out, to become soft and still. Feel a wave of relaxation flow down from the crown of your head, over your forehead, your cheeks, your neck. Let your shoulders feel heavy, sinking down, releasing the last remnants of the day's burdens. Follow this feeling of heaviness as it flows down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists, and all the way to the tips of your fingers. Your hands, which have done so much, can now be completely still. Let them rest. Feel this gentle, warm wave of letting go as it moves through your chest, softening and opening. Feel your belly become soft and relaxed. There is nothing to hold in anymore. Let go. Allow this peaceful sensation to flow down through your hips, your thighs, your knees. Feel the weight of your legs, heavy and calm. Let the relaxation move through your calves, your ankles, your feet. Even your toes can let go of any tension. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, your entire body is invited to a state of profound rest. It is safe to let go. Now bring your attention to the air around you. Notice its temperature on your skin. Feel the gentle touch of your blankets or your clothes. These are the simple, quiet sensations of the here and now. There is nothing in this moment that needs to be fixed. There is no problem to be solved. There is only the feeling of your body resting, the feeling of the air, the quiet sounds in the room, or perhaps the deep silence. Let these simple sensations be your anchor. If a thought arises, a worry, a plan, simply notice it, and then gently guide your awareness back to the feeling of the blanket on your skin or the weight of your head on the pillow. Back to the simplicity of this moment. Your breathing is your guide now. It is the soft, rhythmic lullaby of your own body. Feel the gentle rise of your chest on the inhale and the slow, easy fall on the exhale. There is a natural pause after each exhale, a moment of perfect stillness before the next breath begins on its own. Rest in that pause. It is a tiny doorway into deep peace. You do not need to make the next breath happen. Your body will breathe for you. It knows the way. Your only task is to witness this gentle rhythm, to feel it, to allow it to carry you like a small boat on a calm, gentle tide, further and further away from the shore of wakefulness. Each breath is a gentle wave, rocking you deeper and deeper into calm. The mind's work is done. It has been a good and faithful servant all day, analyzing, planning, remembering. But its time is over for now. You can give it permission to become soft and unfocused, to drift. Imagine your thoughts as soft, fluffy clouds passing through the vast, open sky of your awareness. You do not need to climb aboard them. You do not need to analyze what shape they are. Just watch them drift by, slowly, effortlessly, becoming more and more distant. Let them go. The sky of your mind is becoming clear, peaceful, and empty, ready for the deep, dreamless dark of restorative sleep. Drowsiness is a pleasant, heavy feeling, a sweet invitation. Welcome it. Do not fight it. It is a sign that your body is beginning its nightly process of healing and restoration. Feel it in your eyelids. They are heavy. Feel it in your limbs. They are heavy and still. It is a comfortable weight, a comforting quiet. You are sinking now, sinking into a soft, warm, safe place, deeper and deeper. The sounds of the outside world are fading away. The thoughts of the day are dissolving. All that remains is this feeling of peace, this feeling of letting go. There's nothing left to do, nowhere to go, nothing to be. Only this quiet, this peace, this gentle unfolding into rest. And so, here we are, at the final threshold, the gentle edge between the world of waking and the world of sleep. We have traveled so far tonight, exploring the nature of your own deep wisdom. And now, we arrive at the final metamorphosis. This journey from wakefulness to sleep is, itself, an act of the most profound and ancient intelligence. It is the ultimate expression of the uncredentialed genius we have been speaking of all this time. Think about it. You do not need to be taught how to fall asleep. You cannot force it through logic or willpower. In fact, the harder you try, the more elusive it becomes. Sleep is not an achievement. It is a surrender. It is a perfect act of trust. You are trusting that your body knows exactly what to do. You are trusting that while your conscious mind is offline, a deep cellular wisdom will take over. A wisdom that knows how to repair tissues, consolidate memories, and replenish your energy. This is an intelligence far older than your thinking mind, an intelligence that has been perfecting its craft for millions of years. You were born with this knowing. It is your birthright. The shame of not knowing enough is a story of the mind. But sleep is the wisdom of the body. And the body has never, for a single moment, doubted its own sufficiency. Every night, you are invited to let go of the small self, the identity that worries and strives, and to merge with something much larger. Sleep is a return to the source. It is a dissolution of the boundaries that separate you from the quiet, creative darkness from which all life emerges. It is a nightly rehearsal for the great acts of letting go that life asks of us. And you know how to do it perfectly. The only requirement is that you stop trying, that you release your grip, that you allow this natural, effortless intelligence to take the lead. So feel yourself now at this gentle precipice. The boat has been rocked gently by the waves of your breath, and it has now reached the deep, calm waters of the open sea. The shore of the day is a distant memory. All that lies ahead is a vast, peaceful, and welcoming expanse. There is nothing to fear here. This is a homecoming. As you drift now, you are not becoming unconscious. You are simply shifting your consciousness to a different level of knowing. A level that communicates not in words, but in dreams, in symbols, in the deep, silent work of restoration. Your transformation, the one we began tonight, does not end when you fall asleep. In many ways, it truly begins. As you rest, the new seeds of self-acceptance and inner knowing that we have planted can be watered in the fertile soil of your subconscious. The old stories can be gently composted, their energy returned to the earth. You do not need to manage this process. You can simply trust that the wise gardener within you knows exactly what to do. Your only job is to let go, to surrender to the gentle gravitational pull of this deep, healing rest. Sleep is its own kind of knowing. It is a quiet confidence, a deep, abiding peace. It is the final, perfect answer to the restless questioning of the mind. The answer is not a fact or a theory. The answer is a feeling. The feeling of release, the feeling of safety, the feeling of coming home to the quiet center of your own being. As you drift, your transformation continues in the quiet. Sleep is its own knowing, gentle, natural, and entirely yours.